So I have a new boat, and I gotta say, I've been itching to get out there and do some boating for quite some time now. This came up, I had the opportunity to review it, and I thought, why not give this one a go? It is a bit of a beginner boat. As you can see, it's quite small, does only about 30 kilometers an hour. It's a super dyno, and it's come to me from Banggood. Now, I will have links in the description if you guys want to check one of these guys out. It does look like a catamaran, but it's actually a V-hull jet boat, which I thought was really interesting. As you can see here, turbojet. Comes completely ready to run. You've got batteries, charger, everything included. It is available in a white or a blue. I got the blue, and I'll show you what this guy looks like. We'll take everything out of here. I've only had a bit of a cheeky little peek at it. I haven't done anything with it so far, but this is the entire package. In here we have our stand, and I believe we got some stickers and manuals. So let me rip this bag open real quick because it's all sealed up. So let's have a look here. What do we got? So there we go. We got some stickers for you to decorate the boat with, which is always cool. We have our manual. Now this basically goes through the basic instructions of how everything works, how to charge your battery, what the remote does, blah, blah, blah. Maintenance, all that sort of stuff, right? So pretty basic stuff. In here we have our stand. Is that all there is? How does this work? Does that just clip in there like that? That's it? I'm not quite sure how this is going to work, but oh, I see. It's going to be like that. Now I get it. All right, so taking that out, let's see if we can get our boat. Here it is here. Now we'll go into this guy. You can see the little jet guy there. We'll go into this one in a little bit more detail. So I think that just sits in there like so. There you are. All right, so that's pretty cool. Radio. This radio has that annoying little screw that you got to remove to put your batteries. I believe it runs on 4 AA's. Does feel pretty good. Spring and throttle, everything feels really nice. We've got steering dual rate, a steering trim, throttle dual rate, which means you can slow it right down for those really early beginners in this. And then we've got a couple of buttons there that just say none, so I presume that they're not connected to anything. And we have our power button just there, which is a clicky button, which is actually quite nice. Even has a little lanyard here, so a little lanyard loop, I should say. So if you're near the water and you're worried about, some little kid dropping this in the pond or in the water, you can, put a lanyard around their neck, I suppose. So that's pretty good. And then in here we have a couple of little bits. Let's see, we have our USB charger, of course. There's also a tiny little Phillips head screwdriver to do some maintenance. And there's there's also an Allen key that was hidden in there. And there's our USB charger to charge up the battery. And that is essentially everything you get with this guy. So, moving on to the boat itself. I'll bring it across here real quick. Just center it up in frame, there we are. And there it is. So, really nice little boat. Already has a bunch of stickers on it, so they give you some extras, I suppose, if you want to decorate it with a little bit more. It does have one of these double hatch scenarios, which is kind of cool. So you have this first hatch, which you can take off, and then you have the actual proper hatch that seals everything in. So you just unlock this, and they all twist the same way, which is really easy to remember. And that's got like a little foam seal all the way around. So you have this like double hatch system, which I always found is really good. And then we have our electronics in here. We have our battery in here. This runs on, the battery is actually kind of like a 18650 pack. It's a 2000 milliamp 3S 11.1 volt, which I think is going to give us pretty decent runtime. It does outrun a brushless motor. We have our steering servo just there. All our wiring and everything in, and you have a 2-in-1 ESC, so it's an ESC and receiver. There's a little wire that, like your antenna, sort of runs underneath the hull there. And then we've got our Dean's connector just there, and that's essentially it. Now they do have a little plug here. This little guy, if you do get water in the boat and you want to drain it, you just pull this little plug right there, and you can drain any water out of the boat and then plug that back in. I don't believe this has a self-righting feature or anything like that, but you're not going to really be going fast enough to flip it over. I wouldn't think so anyway, but if you're going to be out there in some choppy water, you might end up flipping it over. Anyway, I think that's really all we need to know about this guy. Jet boat with a V-hull on a catamaran style of boat hull type thing. It's a really unique design. Not much else to show other than taking it out for its first run, so let's do that. My dog's looking at me. So let's see how this thing goes. Really interested. There's a bit of wildlife around here, but I don't think this is going to hurt him. Let's see how we go. Hopefully I don't fall in. Here we go. All right. We are using the stock battery. Whoa, this is way quicker than I thought it was going to be. Holy smokes. This thing is quick. Watch out, duckies. Now it doesn't have reverse, so we got to be careful not to get caught up on the embankments. Oh my god, this thing is so quick. And this is using the stock battery. Such a zippy little thing. Oh my goodness. I thought this was going to be like a real slow beginner type boat. Oh my god. This thing rips. It handles good. It turns so sharply. Oh wow. Okay, so one thing you got to remember is it doesn't have a rudder. So if you let off the throttle, it stops steering. The only way you can steer it is by having the throttle on. So now if I let go, see I'm steering, nothing's, the boat doesn't steer until you get power into it. I'm blown away by the speed of this thing and its agility. That is way quicker than I thought it was going to be. And that's a lot of fun. This is with the stock battery. Look at that, so stable. Oh. This thing's unreal. Gotta watch out for whatever that plastic bag thing is, or whatever that is, pink thing in the water there. We've had some wild weather recently, so that's probably a result of rubbish blowing into the lake. Oh god, I can't believe how fast this thing is. Oh yeah, see, you gotta keep steering. That's the only downside to it. If you let off the throttle, it stops steering. So you have to be really, really careful. Wow, I am really impressed. All right, so did we get any water in there? That's the question we want to know, don't we? Let's see. Doesn't feel like there is, but nope. It's got a couple of droplets, but otherwise everything is pretty dry. That's impressive. That's very good. Oh man, this thing is way more fun and way faster than I gave it credit for. What a cool little boat. Righto, let's go again. Oh, this thing rips. Gotta remember to keep steering with the throttle. You let go, it's gonna stop steering. So should we find out if it goes any quicker with a Lipo? Oh, let's do that. Now, one of the things that I had to do to fit the Lipo in, the battery tray had these little lips. I had to take it out and cut that lip off to fit this Lipo. So this is a 2200. 3S. This is one of Hobby King's new smaller size batteries, and I've got a little adapter on there for the connector. And surprisingly, it fits in there perfectly fine. Put our hatch back in. Let's see. One thing I like is these all twist in the same direction, so it's really easy to just lock them and unlock them. Twisting all in the same direction, and then that clips in there. And we've got power. Let's see if it goes any quicker on a 3-cell 2200. Oh yeah, you can definitely hear it. You can hear the motor pitch is different, so it's definitely got a little bit more zip. That's amazing. This thing is awesome. What a cool little boat. I am still blown away by how awesome and agile this thing is. It's so quick and so fun. This has to be one of the better boats that I've had recently. Well, in quite some time, because I haven't done a boat video in a long time. But that is a definite winner. Little jumps there. Man, this thing handles so well. Lovely. All right, let's take it back to the bench. Now that we've seen everything we need to see, let's check, see if there's any water in there still. I don't think we would have any, but let's see. Undo the tabs, pull that out. Look at that, dry as a bone. Perfect. Oh, it's got a couple of drops in there. I can see it building up right down the bottom. So let me see if I pull this little tab out. You might be able to see. There we go, got a couple of droplets. Just a little bit of water, nothing major. I suppose as long as you do that every 5 or so minutes and just double check to make sure it's not getting flooded, we should be good to go. Put the cover back on, lock our tabs. Put that back on. I'm gonna have one more go because I am really enjoying this. Look how this zips out. Just goes. This thing is sick. I love it. This thing's awesome. Well, there you have it. I mean, what can I say that I haven't said already when I was driving this thing? Absolutely love this little boat. I don't know why I was thinking that 30k an hour was going to be really slow and, you know, more aimed at beginners. And although this can be aimed at beginners, it was actually a lot of fun to drive around. I mean, you guys saw my reaction to it, especially when I put the Lipo in. This definitely got going, and yeah, I'm super impressed. I mean, super dyno with a turbojet setup. This blew my mind, and it sounds like I'm over exaggerating, but my standards for this was actually quite low, and I don't mean that as a bad thing. I just thought that, you know, this was going to be really just another little slow beginner type boat. Now, some of the good things about this being for beginners is that it is a jet boat. A jet boat means that it doesn't have any exposed propellers, so little fingers aren't going to go and get caught up in exposed props if someone accidentally pulls the trigger or anything like that. So that's a big plus. Also, if you've got you know, a very shallow area to run the boat, being that it's a jet boat, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to be sucking up some weeds or something like that in here. But for the most part, the advantage of having jet boats is that you can run them on very shallow waters, which is why this system is actually used in real boats, you know, in those rapid rivers and so forth, so that the props aren't smashing into low rocks or you know, shallow terrain. So that's the idea behind that. The boat, of course, comes with a 2000 milliamp lithium ion battery. If you are going to charge this in your own charger, make sure you set it to lithium ion mode. But of course, if you don't have a charger, it does come with a USB one, which, you know, it's going to take a while to charge up, but at least if you've got nothing else, this will get you going. It does also have a couple of tools in there for you to service the boat, and it comes with a very cool little stand so that you can set it up on the shelf somewhere or on your workbench or whatever. The radio is actually quite good. It does require 4 AA's, which are not included, and you will need this little screw here to be put back on to hold the door in place. This is not one of those doors that will actually lock itself in place. You need that to hold the door in, otherwise it will fall out. The radio has a nice little push button here for the power. It's got an LED light to let you know when it's on. You've got throttle dual rate, which will allow you to turn the top speed down. So if you are going to be giving this to someone that's really little and they just want to have a go, you can turn that top speed down so they're not smacking into things or just driving the thing out into open water or wherever. You got steering dual rate as well included on the radio, and of course you got your steering trims just there. These 2 buttons here, they don't do anything, so I had a bit of a play around with them. They don't do anything, they're not connected to anything. So I really like this little boat. As I said, a lot of fun to drive, and especially when you run, you know, a Lipo battery with it. This definitely got up a little bit more horsepower, and yeah, it was just what can I say? My bar was quite low for this one, and I'm really impressed with it. So if you want to grab one, as I said, it comes in 2 colors. I'll have links in the video description. And of course, I want to give a big shout out to Banggood for sending this one out for review. I'm definitely going to be using this boat more often because it is a lot of fun, and I can put my own batteries in it once I do that little mod to the battery tray to allow them to fit. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button before you go, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content if you haven't already. Thank you again, and I'll be speaking to you all next time. Oh.
It's so cool.